To the human who sits there. One very important thing. There's going to continue to be things in your life that come up. There are fears that the human has, and they don't just wash away. They're there. I mean, they're an energy imprint within you. There are fears, there are doubts that are there. And I see you trying to overcome fears and doubts. There's challenges in your life, and I see you working on those challenges. But you know what happens? Is like you get caught in a fear, an emotional fear that makes no sense whatsoever, but it's there. You get caught in the fear, and it's like getting caught in a spider's web. And that spider is the fear or the doubt or the uncertainty or whatever it happens to be. You get caught in that spider's web. Now the spider's got you. Now the fight and the struggle is on to preserve yourself, to save yourself from the spider of fear or doubt or incompetence or whatever it happens to be. Now you're engaged in a fight. But I can tell you one thing, dear human. You're in the spider's web. It's the spider's territory. The spider wove it just for you. And the spider knows you're going to fight. And you know what happens in the spider's web? As you're in there and you start the fight, you get more tangled up. The spider hardly wastes an ounce of energy in the fight. It doesn't have to. It gives the appearance that it's fighting to satisfy the human that's caught in the spider web. And they'll go, rah, rah. But there's really nothing to it because the spider already knows you're screwed. You're in the web. The moment you start battling, you're done. You're caught and you're dinner. My mood is getting better. I'm laughing. I'm laughing now. It's getting much better, awesomely better. What does that mean in terms of the human you? A couple of things. When you encounter that fear, which you're going to because you're living in the planet and you're living in a body, when you encounter that fear or the doubt or whatever it happens to be, the confusion, I can't make a decision, I don't know what to do. When you're in that, go all the way through it. When you start finding yourself going into the spider's web, and you know it's inevitable, you know it's there, go through. Don't stop. Don't fight. Don't process the issue. Don't try to outthink the issue because you're in the web. You're going to get caught. Don't try to rationalize yourself out of it. Don't try to meditate yourself out of it. Don't try to seek counselors who are going to help you get out of it because all you're going to do is bring them into your spider's web. That's all. When you find that you're confronted with fear or doubt or uncertainty, or you just your life is a total mess, take a deep breath and go through it. Go into it deeper. It makes no human sense, but from an energy sense, it's totally appropriate. The human doesn't want to go any deeper. It encounters that feeling, dread in the middle of the night, anxiety for no apparent reason. You've had that. The human resists. Anxiety, what am I going to do? I got to think my way through this. I got to come up with some nice little cliche. I've got to do some sort of ceremonial dance or whatever it happens to be. You're in the web. You're fighting now. And it's funny because you think, no, I'm being spiritual, I'm being holy, and I'm doing chants or whatever. You are so in the spider's web. You just don't realize it. And that spider is just shaking a fist now and then, or shaking all of its fists, but, just to give the impression that you've got something to fight about, but it's already got you. Fear has you. Uncertainty has you. And particularly when you come to this point of mastery and enlightenment, there are still fears and there are doubts. And you wonder, what's going to happen with my kids? What's going to happen with my physical body? Am I going to lose my sanity? What are people going to think? These things, these are like spiders that are all over, anxieties that are all around. You're not going to fight them. You're not going to overcome them. You cannot, because you made those fears. You made those doubts. They know you better than actually you know them. You're in the spider's web now, and you're just getting more tangled up. So what do? You take a deep breath, and you allow yourself to go into it fully and thoroughly. It doesn't make sense, not at all. How I allow myself to go into a fear, I'm going to get consumed by it. No, because you're going to pass right through the center of the spider's web, but you're going to keep going. You're going to go right through any fear, any anxiety, any dilemma that's in your life, no matter what it is. You're going to take a deep breath, and you're going to put on those wings of your dreams, and you're going to fly right through. You're not going to resist or try to alter or try to fight or try to think your way through it. You just slap on or strap on those wings and go. That's it. And there is a moment of terror as you're heading straight into that spider web, and you got those wings on you, like, oh shit, Adamus, I hope you were right about this, because I'm going right into the heart of doubt and fear, and what happens next? You're on the other side. You're on the other side of all of that. The human consciousness, the spider web is human consciousness, your consciousness. Now you're on the other side. You look back, and you realize there actually really wasn't a spider's web. You realize that all the fears that you feared weren't really actually there. I mean, you built them up in your mind, in your energy field. You built them up. Now you're on the other side of them. There was no fight. And what's there now is the sweet nectar of wisdom that is now yours as a human. Heretofore has not been really available. You think I'm going to hand out nectar wisdom to Shakespeare and Plato? And what are they going to do with it? They're going to screw up their lives even more. So no, that nectar, that wisdom is behind the perception of the spider's web. It's actually really not there. What am I saying? Stop fighting everything. John Kaderka made a statement earlier that caught my breath, and I have to say, John, and any of you who are facing a health issue, take a deep breath and allow it. Don't fight. You don't fight cancer because you're right in the spider's web. You go through it. You put on those wings in a I don't care anymore type of moment, and you go through it. You don't fight the cancer. You just go through it. It's like allowing. It's like allowing. And no matter what happens, no matter what the human would fear, more cancer, possible death, not being a good enough creator to create health, no matter what the human fears, you go through it, Master. You go through it, and what you find on the other side is the wisdom. Not that you're trying to go through it seeking healing or seeking anything else. You go through it because it is no longer yours. You don't own it. You're not going to fight it. None of that. Whatever issue there is in your life, an old childhood emotion that keeps coming up, it keeps coming up because you keep playing with it. Something that you haven't been able to work your way through. You don't process it. You do not process it. Processing is the spider's dessert. Now you're caught in the web and you're processing. You're just turning yourself sweeter. You're just coating yourself with processing sugar, waiting for the spider to come and devour you. That's all. You don't process in this. You don't think about it. You don't intellectualize it. You strap on those wings and you go right through it. That's it. There's no fight left in anything. There's no fight left. Human, hear me, human, me in my bad mood today. Hear me. There's no fight left when you get to this point. What are you fighting anyway? The ills of society? You're fighting yourself and your weaknesses? What are you fighting? The dark and the light, the masculine and the feminine? Could we please get over the divine feminine and the dickhead masculine constant fight? Thank you. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it as I am of my aspect, Shakespeare and Plato and all the rest of them complaining and everything else. I'm tired of it, and you should be too. It's a fight. It's a spider's web. And you get caught in it. They're laughing. It was pretty good, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I had to rehearse this thing. So where was I? In my bad mood. Let's get over it. There's no fight. There's no fight between the human and the master. There's no fight between you and the aliens. You have no fight with Donald Trump. Oh, a lot of people are like, I was having fun. There's no fight. When you get to this point, there is no fight. And that's a good thing, in a way. But you're used to fighting. You're used to being strong even when you're weak. You're used to the battle because it helps you solidify your identity. You're used to the battle, Carrie. Carrie, that battle helps you solidify your identity. Don't give her the microphone. It helps. This is a one-way discussion here.
I laid down my sword. You're wrong.
Thank you.
This is over.
Thank you.
My
Good.
life changed.
Thank you. Good. It has.
Wrestle you though. In Jello.
Can we edit that out? Like pretend? Can we just pretend that you're on a bad mood day? You want to wrestle me in Jello? And it's like,
Yes, always.
okay, yeah. So the point being, let's get back to. Thank you for the distraction. My mood is getting better, and we just sank back down. Now we're at about 24% human master again, and it can go back up. There's no fight in cancer, in poverty, or in any of that. None. Do you understand that, human? Stop fighting. Put yourself in my position for a moment. Now it's the master. It's your enlightened self. And what would you tell that human that is going through its quandaries, is going through all of its misery and its suffering, and, I wasn't given a fair break, and shut up. It's like, get over it. Strap on those wings and get into your fears. Get into your bad childhood, whatever it is. And I know it seems like that's all the wrong thing. Yeah, that's right, because you've been doing it wrong all up to now. You've been fighting and battling these things. Oh, and then after like 40, 50 years on the planet, look at all the progress I made. Look at how far I've gotten. From there to there? That's it? Because you're never going to get very far, because that spider's web is really big, really huge. And that spider is just going to play with you, let you think you got somewhere. That spider is just going to wait and wait and wait. It's going to catch a few other flies in the trap, and it's just going to be going, it comes to me. It all comes to me. Yep. So you take a deep breath. If an old emotional wound, let's say with a partner or a parent or whatever, comes up, just watch yourself, observe yourself, because you see it come up, and you're like, it's an old memory, and I'm a bad person, I shouldn't have these thoughts. Shut up, strap them on, go through. Get those wings on, and just get it over with. And on the other side is that wisdom, that nectar. That's it. So, point number one to remember, strap on, go through. It sounds terrible, but it's how I state things. I told you I was in a mood today. I don't have time to wax everything poetic and that. Strap it on, get it over with. Go through your illness, your lack of self-worth. You realize how tired I am of Shakespeare and it's like my writing. So just get through it, okay? We don't have time anymore to screw around with all the human self-inflicted misery. I'm gonna make that very clear. Self-inflicted. Society's not doing it. There's no beings living in the center of the world that are doing it to you. I don't care how many aliens there are, they're not doing it to you. It's self-inflicted human You're almost doing it for some sort of strange delight. Let's just get over that, okay? All right, good. Let's take a deep breath with that. My mood is getting better. Let's take a good deep breath with that.